Hello, hi, greetings. My name is Drew, you are you, and once again, you are here at least moderately curious about new products here at the Goulet Pen Company related to fountain pens, paper, and ink. And I am here to offer you a look at these items and offer a very limited amount of insight into them. So I'll do my thing, you just sit back and do yours. And we're gonna get started with I want to get started with some up and coming stuff. So I don't have this stuff here because it's not released yet, but I wanted to let you know on the new arrivals section, no, not the new arrivals section, the coming soon section. New arrivals is where you can find the stuff I'm going to show you. Coming soon is where you can find the stuff coming later. And there are some cool stuff there. So Diamine announced that their ink vent calendar this year for the holiday season is going to be the black edition. They've done purple, they've done red, green, blue, and now it's black. So another year, another exciting, presumably exciting set of Diamine inks, one for every month for every year. Oh my God, every day of December leading up to the 25th. That's how Advent works, right? Next up, Sailor is coming out with some really cool Maki pens. These are kind of not the big time, $10,000 Maki. These are more affordable as far as Maki goes, but they're all going to have ninjas on them. So these are the 1911 style pens, the L, I believe, so larger canvas than the 1911S, the standard, or the small. Anyway, ninja pens, check those out. Opus 88, the most popular pen in the Opus 88 model is their demonstrator, just the straight up demonstrator. But rather than just clear now, they've got one that is going to have whales on there. It looks really gorgeous. Go take a look at it. You can sign up to be notified when any of these come back in stock. Some like the Diamine ink vent, that's not going to be until like November, so don't worry about that too much. But some of these you can check and we'll let you at least know the month that they're slated to come out. Finally, we've got 3 new Scribo pens, so check those out. And Endless Alchemy inks are making a comeback. The original colors are coming back into production, as well as 2 new shimmering colors. I think they're calling them Starlight or something like that. So anyway, coming soon, check it out, a lot of cool stuff. But as far as what's available now, we're gonna jump in with an ink. And this is a very interesting ink. I'm gonna tell you why. Colorverse has been intermittently releasing 50 states inks, one for every United State. And when we were first discussing it here at the Goulet Pen Company, we thought to ourselves, okay, 50 states, cool. But what if, say, Kentucky is a way cooler ink than Virginia? And we just don't want to pick up Virginia. No offense to my home state, but maybe, we don't know. And then does that mean we're only going to pick up the cool looking inks? And then the folks from Virginia are going to be like, whoa, why didn't you pick out Virginia? Even though it's a, muddy, red with mustard plops. I don't know. So we just didn't do it. We're like, nah, it's fine. Let other stores do the whole 50 state thing. But then, we got one announced, which, we just always are like, all right, we're not doing the 50 state thing. But then Giant Potato was brought to our attention. This is the Idaho ink, and it's called Giant Potato. It's an ink called Giant Potato. If you ink this up, and someone asked what you were writing with, you would say, I'm writing with Giant Potato. And for whatever reason, we kind of liked that. We liked the name, we liked the vibe, we liked that there's a picture of a truck with a giant potato on it, and it just kind of struck us. And this was the ink that made us want to be a part of the 50 States collection. So we have no intention of doing any more other than the Giant Potato, but we are doing Giant Potato. And Brian and I mentioned it in the Pencast last week, and they sold out. We didn't order too many of them, but they're gonna be back in stock. But I don't know, maybe people are also excited about having Giant Potato in their pen. So we will be getting these back in stock. It, as of right now, I believe is sold out, but you can sign up to be notified when it inevitably comes back in stock, because we are not going to rest on Giant Potato. In fact, Glenn, our photographer right out there, just yesterday took the coolest picture of the Giant Potato ink, because I went to the grocery store and actually got some potatoes to bring in. We're not gonna stop on Giant Potato just because of that picture and how cool it is. Anyway, that's enough about Giant Potato. It is $13.50 It's 15 milliliters. It's called Giant Potato, right with Giant Potato. It's actually nice brown too. It's a pretty solid brown. It's a lightish brown, but a solid russet, a solid light russet, I'd say. Giant Potato. The Conklin Duragraph. Probably Conklin's, most popular pen. I don't know. Maybe. It's a popular pen. The Duragraph is up there for sure. They're coming out with 3 new ones. They look like this. And they might look familiar because we did have them in the 1868 version, which was much more expensive. But now they are in the much less expensive Duragraph. Let's look. So, the Duragraph is a slimmer pen than, some of the larger 1868 pens that they came out with. But 1898, I don't know. Either way, these are the Duragraphs. They're only $68. They're cartridge converter pens. They're a great step up from the super entry-level pens. One might still call a $68 pen entry-level, but I don't. I think it's more or less in that mid-range, a little bit above entry-level. But they are cartridge converter pens. We've got that Jowo steel nib on them, and then they are going to come with a cartridge and a converter. As you see here, they do post almost to that back trim ring, but they are pretty long when posted. All 3 are going to be identical in that manner. They are going to have slightly different trim options. We've got 2 rose golds and 1 steel, and that's going to both be on all of the outer trim, and it's going to be on the nib as well. And here we have topaz, these are called the Whirlwind collection. The actual names are Whirlwind Topaz, Whirlwind Rainbow, and Whirlwind Amethyst. And I'll make sure that you see the right things, honestly. This one is definitely Rainbow. This one is Topaz, and this one is Amethyst, pretty sure. So, yeah, all those will be labeled properly. They're quite stunning. The depth of the material is really neat to look at. You do see a little bit of translucency there, here especially on the Rainbow. And then for Topaz, you get a really cool orange and blue kind of situation happening. And then finally, Amethyst is absolutely lovely. I think this one is probably my favorite of the 3. But all 3 are nice. The Conklin Duragraph is a reliable pen. A lot of people own one. And these are a pretty crazy good, it's a pretty good resin for $68. This is something that Conklin is making. So it only is available on Conklin. So it's pretty neat, not something you see every day. 1898 is it was the 1898 Misto was the pen series that had these materials on them. And they are limited and numbered. So you'll see that the number's hard to see. It's way up at the top of the cap, but I'll show you a picture. Next up, if you're one of those people that likes to get a head start on your planning activities, you can start 2025 right now if you want to, because we currently have available the Rhodia 2025 Web Notebook Planners. They are available in some various colors, like black, like burgundy, midnight, peacock, which is our exclusive color, and of course orange, because it's Rhodia. They're $28. They're here now. They're here now. They will be here, but I don't know. Get them now. Sit on them for a while. Next up is an exclusive Monteverde. This is an Innova, and these are pretty neat little pens. And this one especially has a really interesting look to it. Now, the Innova was made by Monteverde 25 years ago now, and it was always and has always been very closely tied to the whole carbon fiber aesthetic. And this is still a carbon fiber pen. However, it is very understated in how the carbon fiber is laid in there. It is very subtle. You can see it here on the cap when the light hits it right. It's definitely in there, and it's green, which is a new thing. So it's really cool for folks that, kind of dig the overall kind of vibe of carbon fiber, but don't necessarily want to be walking around with a full-on carbon fiber pen. The green is really attractive, and the hint, the kind of beneath the surface carbon fiber, I think gives this pen a look that is all of its own. Yeah, that's a good That's a good view. So it really just depends on how you're holding it. It depends a lot on the lighting. And, you know, sometimes you can't see the carbon fiber. Sometimes you can. Off, on. But it's always there. Again, like the Conklin pens, we've got a Jowo steel nib on here. It is a cartridge converter situation. This pen is also limited. And it will be numbered somewhere on the back here. There it is. Fingerprinty. 75. Great. So this is an exclusive to the Goulet Pen Company. You've got a snap cap and a really snappy snap post as well. It is a little weighty. I think that this is you know, nicely balanced here. It doesn't feel more heavy in the back than it does in the front. It's a comfortable pen. I have one of these and I quite enjoy it. And then, you know, pretty standard clip. It's not spring actuated or anything. And then you've got a little bit of a mountain there, if you can see that. Got a mountain engraved in that black material here. And it is only $52, which is quite affordable for what you're getting. Carbon fiber, lacquer, Jowo nib, 52 bucks. It's not bad. And numbered limited edition, which, you know, bonus cool factor, if you're into that thing. About once a year, Platinum comes out with a new 3776 model. This year, they have released the Kasumi, and it is a good looking pen. We're gonna actually look at the box situation of this one because there's just, you know, more going on than your average box here. So we've got an outer box. We've got a little bit of literature here detailing the free ink that you're gonna get. Yes, spoiler alert, there is a free ink. And here we go. Really lovely presentation there. So the ink itself is in a really unique bottle. These bottles in this shape are not retailed by Platinum. But there we have that. Very beautiful depiction of Mount Fuji there. Just a unique presentation. Once that gets back in the bottle there, you got a converter and a cartridge, of course. And then here is the pen itself, the Kasumi 3776 Century. You've got a deep green translucent cap and then some really interestingly textured designs on the barrel. Now, all of the most recent annual editions of the 3776 have had a textured barrel like this. And this is definitely one of the more unique ones. At first glance, it might just look like there are kind of, you know, some lines, but if you look really close, you see that they are kind of, I'm not sure if concentric is the right word here, but there are linear circles. And I've never seen a pattern like this on a fountain pen. It's really original. You feel it. I wouldn't call it sharp, but you definitely do feel it. But it doesn't at all bother me. I can't really feel it on my wrist here. I can feel it on my fingertips, but not the inner part of my palm here. So it is certainly not disruptive in writing. Not even if I do that, I can't feel it. So I guess, you know, because obviously fingers are way more sensitive. That's a nice balance. I really do love the green, clear green. And then, of course, you've got the beautiful 14 karat platinum nib here. A lot of folks really love this nib. No mistaking that it is a good looking one and one that is very well known in the community. Platinum does not make a bad fountain pen. All the way up to pens like this and above, all the way down to the Platinum Preppy. Platinum knows how to do it and do it well, not limited to the slip and seal cap right here. You can see that there's a spring-loaded inner cap that when tightened puts a little bit of pressure on that inner cup to keep your pen nice and sealed. You can see that we've got these pens limited out of 3,000, so they are not going to be around forever. And it is a bit expensive. We're talking $495 for this pen, so it is up there. But as you see, they're packaging it with some fun stuff. It is limited in nature. These don't disappear off the shelves, but they also don't hang around forever, so, you know, it's up to you, but they're here now. as almost all of this stuff is. There's one that isn't quite here, but you know what? Let's actually talk about that now. The one that isn't quite here is this pen. This is the VAC 700R from TWSBI in Kyanite blue. And this is not just a color. If you'll remember, TWSBI put out a couple years ago, I think, 2 years maybe, a VAC 700R, which I think the last color of the VAC 700R was the iris. This was a popular pen. So popular, in fact, they ported the entire kind of design aesthetic over to the 580, made a 580 iris, and that has been immensely popular as well. So they thought maybe if the iris was so popular, people like blue, why don't we give them the same sort of design pattern, but in blue? And look at that, folks. You've got a stunning blue nib. Well, blue and chrome. It's a two-tone nib. Blue up at the front, just like the iris was rainbow at the front. And then, of course, we've got echoing blue hardware there at the base of the grip, a little trim ring there at the base of the piston knob. We've got beautiful blue up at the top of the cap, at the bottom of the cap, and then we've also got a matching blue here on the clip. It is a different type of metal. It's a textured metal, not really the shiny polished metal, but it is the same color, just a different texture. So it does have a different look to it. We've got an inner cap here. TWSBIs are wonderful for sealing and not having your writing experience interrupted, despite how you may or may not choose to leave it for a prolonged period of time. So if you did not already know this, the VAC 700R is a vacuum filling pen, hence the VAC. You unscrew it and you see that that piston separates itself from the grip section. So right now it is plugging up this back reservoir from the grip section and the feed. Once you unscrew it, you see that that rubber gasket lifts up a little bit so that ink now flows freely. To fill it, you pull this back, submerge your nib and feed into the ink, press this down, and then whoosh, as soon as the gasket here makes it from this very uniform hallway of reservoir into this more open, flared out trumpet here, vacuum pressure gets the pen filled, and it's fun. The VAC 700R does have a pretty significant step. We've got a flared out barrel here that goes into some threads that then drops down. So there is a noticeable gap between here and then down here. But the grip section is long enough that you can easily get your fingers in here pretty definitively and don't have to choke up on it too much. But honestly, that doesn't bother me. I think that the 580 is probably a little bit more comfortable, but this one also has a larger nib than the 580, and it has an angle, it has a profile that's just a little slimmer. I don't know, the VAC 700R nib just hits different. So a lot of folks really love this pen, and I'm really glad that the VAC 700R is getting another color. And now I'm wondering, will they do other colors? I'd love to see a green or a brown. Even a red, who knows? I think it could be really cool. So these are $80 and will be launching Friday, July 26th of 2024. So if you're watching this video on Thursday, not quite ready yet, but come back and check on Friday and it'll be here for you, hot off the presses. Everybody's launching on Friday. It's a TWSBI mandated release, so every retailer should be launching it on the same day. And now we get to talk about a new pilot pen, which is not something that happens often. And the Grance is a pen that we've been interested in carrying for a long time because it has been available over in Japan, but now it is being made available to US retailers such as us. So let's take a look at the Pilot Grance. It is not the Grance, it is the Grance. That is how we're gonna roll here. And as you can see, there are multiple colors, so we're not launching right out of the gate with just a black or anything like that, although we do certainly have the black, it's here. These are going to be $200 a piece, and you are gonna get a gold nib, an interesting gold nib, a gold nib that has a design unlike other Pilot gold nibs. and I find that pretty fascinating. This is Pilot's number 3 size nib. You're not going to see that here, but that's just what they call it. The number 3 nib is exactly the same size as you would find if you ever had a Pilot Stargazer or Stella 90S. They're the same pen, but we no longer have the option to carry those, sadly. You see Grance is engraved right into the cap, and no other lettering on the trim. So, but we do have several. We have a trim ring above the cap with black finials. All of them share that in common, and then a double trim ring here on the on the barrel right above the grip section. So trim kind of everywhere. You've got a lot of trim, even up here at the top of the grip section. So a very trim-heavy pen, honestly. It is a cartridge converter pen. It's going to come with the standard Con 40, and then it'll be included with a black Pilot cartridge as well. And it is a nice solid snap cap. You also get to post it. It's just friction fit, but it feels really nicely and it's really well balanced. It is not heavy, but it is not light either. And one thing that I really like about these colors is that they're a little understated at first glance, but take a closer look and there's actually quite a bit going on here. This blue one especially has a bit of pearlescence to it. If you can see, there's almost a sheen of magenta-y, pinky going on. It's hard to see, but it's there. I'll share some photos with you so you can see it a little bit more in detail, but it's definitely got an X factor to it that I was really surprised by. But we've got 3 pearl colors in addition to the blue. We've got a pearl white here as well, and that's pretty obvious how pearlescent it is. And then this pink pearlescent. This is darker. My phone's not picking this up as a little light. I'll show you a picture, but this is a darker pink. And sadly, my phone is not doing a great job picking up the subtleties in the shimmer here. Black is just black, and then the blue is more or less just blue. There is a little bit of shimmer here too, but it's not one of those like pearlescent shimmers. You can pretty much see exactly what's going on there. And yeah, $200. One thing that I'm gonna say is that for $200, it's up there, but you do get a gold nib. Below $200, if you're looking for a gold nib and a Pilot, you're looking at the Pilot capless, vanishing point, the Decimo, or the E95S/Elite. Those all have a less traditional look to them. They all look very different. You've got retractable pens, and the E95S is a short, long pen. So if you wanted a Pilot gold nib pen with a more traditional profile to it, the Grance is a great idea. If you wanted to gift somebody one that you don't want to freak them out with an E95S and make them wonder about that, this is a solid option. Yeah, a little bit more traditional, but then you could get something like this. It's a little bit more wild, very fun. These are available now. I'm excited about them. Hopefully you are too. But if you're not that excited about that, you have to be excited about these. These are Preppies from Platinum. Again, these are the Wa Preppies, the Preppy Wa. This is the 3rd collection, and what they did with the Wa is screen print some what they're calling modern maquille designs on them. It's, you know, we're not talking layers and layers of lacquer and stuff. There's none of that, but it does have that vibe, and that's why they're calling it that. So we're not going to worry too much about semantics. We're just going to check these out because we're happy they're giving us fun pens, and we're happy that they're giving the Preppy some pizzazz here with this packaging, right? So these are a little bit more than the regular Preppies at $13, and they've got some pretty cool designs on them, like eggplants. Did you need an eggplant pen? Were you just thinking, why aren't eggplants on any of my pens? Well, you know what? Worry not, my friend, because this is here for you. This is called the Nasu, which is eggplant. We've got a koi, which is just beautiful. Look at that. So it's koi going up a waterfall, which a lot of you probably knew this, but the koi going up the waterfall, after, you know, this is a Japanese story, right? The koi goes up the waterfall and becomes a dragon. I don't know a ton about Pokemon, but I do know that Magikarp is just a useless little carp, like a koi. Not saying kois are useless, but then it turns into Gyarados, which is like a big dragon thing. So it's like the same thing, right? That's based on that story, right? Somebody tell me yes. Anyway, next up we've got some gourds here. It's a red pen with some gourds. Hyotan is this particular pen. And then here we have some oranges. It is a particular orange called, let's see, what's this one called? Tachibana. Cute. And then finally, Asagao. Not finally, this one's finally. Asagao, Morning Glory. Some flowers here. And then finally, this one is unique. This one is Yanagi ni Komuri, which is bats and willow. So you've got willow leaves here, and then very kind of minimalist, stylized bats here, I guess. There we go. You can kind of see they're like flapping their wings down. So $13, Preppy Wa, lots of cool designs. Choose one that speaks to you. It's a great deal. These pens are already great, but this just packages them in a little bit more of a distinguished, exciting presentation. And now I believe we just have one more pen. Oh no, two more. I wanted to talk to you about the Retro 51 Beachy Side Up. Now this pen is just released from Retro 51. It is beach themed, so it fits the summer vibes if that's what you're after. It is $65.50, numbered out of 775. And my favorite thing about this pen is that it does a gradient from like blue oceany to sandy beachy. So we've got the top bit of hardware where the knob is, and then the cone down there at the bottom being two different colors, which they've probably done it before. I haven't seen it done before, or maybe I've forgotten. Either way, I think it looks really cool, and it definitely is going to exude the proper vibes if you want to take summer party with you when you write. Now we're doing our last pen. And this is an Esterbrook. And this is one that I definitely do want to show you the packaging for, because it is, I'm not going to say it's the main event because the pen is still the main event, but it's a chunk. It is, the ratio is not all, you'll see. It's the Sweet Dreams. So Esterbrook has not ever decided to phone it in when it comes to their inspiration and packaging. And here we go. Did you expect to see a sleep mask pen rest? You did. Oh, well, you probably have seen this before. Anyway, that is exactly what we have here. The Sweet Dreams immediately just wows you with this presentation. So we've got a light, whimsical material here made by, I believe this is, I'm not sure who exactly makes this material. I don't want to say it's Tim McKenzie if it's actually the Turnt Pen Company, but I will add that in later as a title. But it's a beautiful, looking at the polish, this does look like a McKenzie because of the sparkle here. It is probably a diamond cast resin, but I don't know. Either way, it's a beautiful pen, a really light, airy, just very fun design. And of course, it's an Esterbrook Estie, so you're going to have that cushion cap here that's going to keep your pen nice and ready to write. A Yovo steel nib with the Esterbrook logo there. The nib size put there on the side. These are only going to be available in extra fine, fine, and medium. Cartridge converter with a nice little O-ring down there to make the installation of the barrel feel nice and smooth, which it does. These are really comfortable pens to hold. You can post them just fine, and they're a little back heavy, not back heavy, just kind of awkward, but I think the length here is perfect. I think that it has a really nice balance. And apart from being a great writer, let's just take another look at what you're going to get here with Sweet Dreams. You've got some beads in here that give it a little bit of weight, though it is pretty light. But great if you need to go on the airplane. And yeah. And then we've got a something to hang on your door. It's a very, very small doorknob. Dream a little dream. Make your dreams come true. Day, night, and a cartridge. Ah. There you go, first try. And finally, some stickers. I'm not going to open this because this will tear, and I'm not going to do that. Nope, but there's stickers here. So you are getting a lot of fun little accessories here with your Esterbrook Sweet Dreams Estie, in addition to, of course, a lovely, lovely pen. And if you want, you could just wear the pen right on your face. Just a ton of fun. Esterbrook has made some heavily themed pens in the past, but this one I think takes the cake. They did one that had little wine charms that you could kind of attach to the stem of wine glasses, and then they did that crazy collaboration with Ferris Wheel Press a while ago with their Nebulous Plume pen. And something tells me they're not going to stop with the themed collections. It's just not what they do. So it's a lot of fun. Sweet Dreams is $315. And these are limited, so not gonna be around forever, obviously. There's a lot that goes into these. And that is it, everybody. Those are our new products. You can look at all of these in the links below, the little shopping links, and then if you visit the coming soon page or the new arrivals page, you will see both these and the things that are yet to come. And there's always something. I know of some things that I would love to talk to you about, but I can't just yet. But stay tuned. At some point, I will. And just like, and I'm talking like something that's going to make me even more excited than this. And that's a lot. So stay tuned. Join me again one day. I would love it. I love the fact that you hung in this long. I appreciate it. I appreciate you helping me do what I love. And I appreciate you loving fountain pens. So you just keep doing that, and I will appreciate it. Have fun. Right on. Bye-bye.